Odysseus Androutsos was a Greek military and political commander in eastern mainland Greece and a prominent figure of the Greek War of Independence. He grew up in the court of Ali Pasha of Tepelena and was one of his commanders. In 1818, he joined the Greek revolutionary organization Philikieteria. After Ali Pasha's defeat, he joined the Greek War of Independence and was distinguished as a commander in the Battle of Gravia Inn in 1821. As a result of the battle, he was appointed military commander of eastern mainland Greece by the Greek revolutionary government. In 1825, after falling out with the rebels, he asked for amnesty from the imperial court and joined the Ottomans. In a battle near Livavia, he was captured by the units of the revolutionary army. Odysseus Androutsos was murdered on the evening of the 5th of June 1825. Why he had been imprisoned, if indeed he had betrayed the revolution, and who was responsible for his death, are big questions. However, via Turkish sources, which for the first time are being thoroughly processed, have overburdened Odysseus' position as they include part of his correspondence with the Turkish pashas and even the Sultan. However, the 37-year-old hero died in a horrible manner. His former companion, Yanis Gouras, learned that the government planned to amnesty him and reinstate him into the army, even in a leading position. Gouras was shaking with anger with that perspective. If Odysseus were to leave prison, there was no way that he would not avenge his old partner who had betrayed him. In addition, Gouras would lose the political power he had. So, after a failed attempt to convince the government to execute him for high treason, he immediately sent an order to assassinate Odysseus. The slogan agreed upon is interesting. The price of oil has risen. Sell. It had become dark and drizzling with rain when the 3 or 4 people of Gouras, Mitros Triandafilinas, Yanis Mamouris, a certain Jamalas, and possibly a priest the church had excommunicated Odysseus, entered the cell of Androutsos at the Acropolis, determined to murder him without using weapons because they intended from the beginning to make it look like an accident. In addition, they first wanted to reveal who had hidden his treasures. Odysseus was hungry, dirty, his clothes ragged, his hands and feet chained with large, heavy balls, but he still challenged them. Let me have one hand free and come and get me. To reveal where he had hidden the treasure, he was brutally tortured. They beat him with their hands and bells. A loud blow cut his lips and broke his teeth. Odysseus was full of pain. In the end, they ended him with a horrific torture. As the other 2 held him, Triandafilinas twisted his genitals. He later lost consciousness from terrible pain, but the 3 executioners continued to beat him while he was passed out. Groaning became a death rattle, but he still would not die. In the end, they had to strangle him. His body was found in front of the temple of Athena at the Acropolis. It was clear what had happened, but Gouras' people covered up the forensic report and presented the murder as a result of his fall from the cell during an alleged escape attempt. They had to wrap a rope around the body. Although they didn't realize it, there was an eyewitness. A retired soldier, Kostas Kalantzis, 21 at the time, 40 years later, in 1863, will tell what really happened to a lawyer, Spyridon Fortis, who will record it. One of the rings worn by Odysseus, who actually had gathered a large treasure in his cave in Typhorea Lokris. Even today, several curious treasure hunters are looking to discover it. is now in the National Historical Museum. On the stone of the ring is engraved a cross and the words Visisa and Vrutsos. This ring was given to the museum on the 19th of January 1955 by one of the greatest figures of post-war Greece, Philopoemen Phinos. It was a family relic, but we do not know how it came into the hands of this great family, but we can imagine as the family originated from Tivoria, an ancestor would have found the ring in the cave or acquired it in some transaction, and the family kept it as an heirloom.